Hi there. Hiya. Hi there. I'm digging. This is the vibe. My vibe, but it's the vibe just the same. And I'm really glad you came across this. Um, Even if it's just by chance, then I guess you're supposed to know this. If you had seen any of the past videos that I've made the last year, I would say that while you're watching news and listening to other narratives, you would realize there is a substance in those videos. There is substance in the pudding. Yep, there is. And I shake my head because I think to myself, one person's saying, another person's saying, another person's saying, and I think to myself, I've been talking about this in my videos. Yes, I like to laugh, and yes, I like to giggle. Yes, I like to be goofy. But that's because I appreciate life for the most part. You know, if I'm ever hurt, it's somebody that did it to me, rather than my doing it to somebody else. It wouldn't happen. I don't tick that way. I wasn't made up that way. And Lord knows I could have. I really could have. But I just don't see a need for it. You either like me or you don't. You either love me or you don't. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm not here to make anybody do anything. I'm not here even to change somebody's mind. I'm here just to share my truth, because what, only 50% of you are gonna believe what I'm saying, and that's 50%. Now, I have always believed the proof has been in the pudding. This is why I'm saying it right here and right now. Now, I would really go back to, and I would pay attention to titles. I would pay attention to how things might be presented and why, even though I do like to giggle. I do that. I laugh when I'm nervous. I was always Miss Congeniality, tripping over my own toes. Yeah. When I was young, a lot of my friends compared me to Lucille Ball. And after a while, I thought, I'm taking this as a compliment. Yeah, not with the Ricky thing. I would just, yeah, really clumsy, super clumsy, I guess that's the way to put it. Yeah, but we all had a good laugh. That's the important part. Okay, so we are looking at martial law. We are also looking at 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 what? What are we looking at if not martial law, right? And apparently, this is to create. Well, not. I shouldn't say apparently. Some look at this as a situation to create problems and to help out with the problems we've created so we can look like heroes. And there's a portion of mankind that ticks that way, that thinks this way. And yes, some up at the very top could have, I mean, everybody is born with a psychosis in one way or another, right? I've heard weirder things. And so I'm going, and this is just strictly government. I would really think about that. And the reason I would really think about it is because this is really real. It really is real. Yeah, yeah. And we do have to, which we're not doing, okay, is think 4 or 5 years ahead. Putting yourself there 4 or 5 years ahead, where you imagine yourself 4 or 5 years ahead. You need to put yourself there. And from where you think you want to be in 4 or 5 years, at that point, tell me what future you see. Some might say, that's not even fair, that's not even right. I have to experience this first before I could begin to tell you. That's right. They couldn't. They really couldn't tell you. And that's why it's really super important. And the question would be, do you know Christ? Do you know Jesus? Do you know Emmanuel? Jesus. Yeah. You know, like a name like like Zeus. I was thrown into a time frame. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos. I was thrown into a time frame where the situation, more like it, the situation was a child and a father, and the father was helping his son do up his shoes, and really beautiful. You know, the father was just as eager to answer as the little boy was in questioning his dad, his father. It's really beautiful. And so, at one point, because he was telling his son about God and telling his son that there is going to be one. Now, this is where Zeus came up, Jesus, meaning that, can I say that it says we're gods? Je, as in me, je, Zeus, or Azus, je, us. That would be only U.S. Oh, isn't that weird? Yeah, yeah. Ooh, that's a play on words. It's interesting. But seriously, okay? So where do you see yourself in 4 years with the information that you know now? And I'm going to say, I'll bet that it's going to be that we all are faced with situations that are hard pressed. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, I stop and I remember the father telling the child, and the child kind of questioned, and that's when the father said, we are children of God. So that saying not only reminds us of our Father, but Jesus, or Jeus, or Jehu, I don't know how you pronounce that. Um, it's ultimately reminding ourselves that we are our Heavenly Father's children. And because we are mini-me's, there's a lot of us that don't get our head around it, like seriously around it, like seriously take the time to ponder what has been said and what will be said. Because there's truth in words, there's life in words, the same way that there is life in blood and truth in blood. It's all one and the same. Yeah. So, question would be, because I think I kind of rambled off and I thought as I was talking, oh, this is a message that's supposed to come out. And that would be is people really do need to, you know, imagine where they're going to be. Imagine for where, you know, imagine themselves, what expectation they have on themselves. and, you know, look, I guess it would be a conversation you would have in a mirror, really, if you were really talking to yourself, right? I would think so. Um, but the truth of the matter is that that thought, that question, that reasoning, that way of thinking, um, is definitely known about. Definitely, it is known about. And it is socially tolerable. But it does, you who are the heavy thinkers, it does put you on another level of more questions. There's a lot of ahas as you start to break out, and in that breaking out is you allowing yourself to be you under all circumstances. And the only way you're really going to do that is by understanding the law, understanding yourself. And when you look at another human being, you need to look at them as you would yourself, because they're another human being. Now, there might be attributes that you really don't like, right? It could be instant war, or instant empathy, or instant everything. Around the possibilities are infinite. Yes. So, okay, the little boy said, so then we are God's dad? And how do we do that? And the father told his son, just don't ever lie to yourself. Because if you lie to anybody, you lie to yourself. And there is that possibility, there is that room enough that eventually you believe your lie. And that sucks. So, got to go back to the beginning of this video, because I kind of channeled off somewhere, and I've been trying to go through the yellow pages of my mind, and so I might be go stop in what I'm sharing with you, and it's not done on purpose, it's apple juice. I literally jump out in and out in time, and I'm able to see action and reaction. And hey, listen, one of the videos I'm about to make really shortly here is really disturbing. It is. It's really, 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 really disturbing. And I already know how this is going to end. I know how it's all going to end. And it is going to end. And we have to wakey. Life is like any other art. Only through experiences and honing in on what you like and what you don't like, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for, you define yourself. And through that there is a huge realm of possibility, and that's something earned. That's definitely something earned. So I have to go and try to gain my voice back, but it is something earned. Okay, And so there is a little bit of a lie that's been around for thousands since the beginning of time, literally, you know. And I saw the beginning of time on different levels, from different angles. One that was extremely memorable uh, was the twins. And I recalled either another life, or I was in heaven. Um, and I know it's recorded. That's that's the thing. I know it's recorded, and I've learned to understand how the truth is really working, or set up to work. Not just for you, but for everybody. Yep. Okay. We got that out. We got that out. So it is going to be a video like connecting the dots, because I just can't help but hear a whole lot of stuff. I mean, so much so that I'm not keeping up with it myself. I can't just verbalize it. Every time I want to say something, I'm choking the words, and also asking myself, why the hell is this happening? You know, like, why would I just not relax enough just to say the truth as it is? It's because I know the rejection, and people can be so cruel, you know, without even thinking about it. And, you know, those actions that ultimately turn into weapons by karma, you know, we do need to, you know, like sit and find our center physically, emotionally, spiritually, you know. And when I'm saying physically, it's the mind. You have to put everything in its proper perspective to find a balance. You need that balance. Otherwise, you really do get lost in the world, and you're dealing with high emotion, and you're dealing with just a lot of different stuff that is not necessary and not actually good for the physical body, the mind, or the spirit. Or the spirit. You know, I believe the soul, as souls, we suffer. I believe that. I truly believe that. Okay, so we are moving into a a truth that is really scary. Like, I'm just going. I tell myself there's no way to get around this. I'm now put, you know, like my back is up against the wall. I sometimes feel like I can't breathe, and yet my mind keeps telling me, um, yeah, it's not over. It's just not over. I need to be able to spill it out, get it all out. So man has an opportunity. I mean, there's going to be more than just me. Definitely, it's, you know, the Lord has more than one speaker in the house, right? And you know, the kingdom was brought down here from heaven to earth. Kingdom. and and to throw a little twist in, that is written and apparently noted that it resembled a way of the Nibiruian people, the Anunnaki, because they have a kingdom. That's how their structure is. That's how their setup is. They have a kingdom. Now, that's what makes it pretty interesting. It does. It makes it pretty interesting because, you know, whether you want to see it as light or dark, as truth or lie, as karma, and as dharma, uh, you know, or just, you know, if you want to identify it with or as cycles, yes, I would think. And you do get a period, I believe, of a box opening up and recollecting reasons as to why you're a soul and that you are a soul. And you know, you being here, you're playing a bigger part in this picture. Because let's face it, aren't we asking ourselves, I mean, how often do we ask ourselves, is this real? Because you really do. It's like being in shock, right? You know, like, is this real? How much of this is real? You know, what's going on here? What? What? How did this happen? What? Wait a minute. And see it as opportunity for growth rather than negative, rather than destroying it or hurting somebody or, you know, wrong ambitions or dark ambitions. It takes a positive and a negative to have a spark, right? Yeah. So, um, even times where it just absolutely really sucks, you have to go, okay, because what we think we're looking at, people say, uh, what's Obama, why is he in the picture? What's Obama doing here? Or bringing him up, or recognizing or giving recognition. I made a video that I didn't put up, and it was based on them being at uh, uh, George Bush Sr.'s funeral and paying the service, paying him respect. You can, you know, there's a picture, there's a snapshot that's taken, and I said, you know, Obama's composure, how he put his hands, he crossed them, and the energy and the gesture of how his body was set up. Okay, yes, because as you are doing this, there is a whole other aspect to it. And you know, and that's where humans question, is this real? Is this real? Because all of a sudden he looks really calm, open to offers, extremely humble, you know, here, there, you know, for you, you know, I'll listen. He looked very humble. Michelle and her composure and how she held her hands and where she held them gave her the impression of meekness, of her being meek, innocent, meek, actually, meek. And then from there, it was Bill Clinton, Mr. Bill Clinton, and a part of him looked like he was just going to step up on in um, with Hillary. You know, so a part of him was, you know, he put himself in behind her back. And the other part was forward, giving the indication that he was open and playful and respectful and attentive because he was looking straight ahead. Um, Mr. Trump and Mrs. Trump were looking straight ahead. You could tell that there was a speaker. Mr. Obama and Mrs. Obama were looking down. The three women, Hillary included, they all had this faraway look in their eye as if they were thinking, as they were in deep thought. They had them cast to the right and and down, yes, but they were in thought. They weren't there. They could hear everything that was going on. But all three women, and Cheney was in the middle of both of these women. So the three of them, these two women and Hillary. Because remember, I said Mrs. Obama, like Mr. Obama, both eyes were looking down. Both eyes, you could even think they might be closed, but they're not. They were looking down. And the way that his composure, the way that he had set up his composure, he looked humble and welcoming and caring. And Mrs. Obama and her body mannerisms as to how she was seated. When you take a look at these things, you realize how much we are really influenced by just simple gestures, and through that they gain the control, the hypnosis, because they create initially the physical presence of what is about to be acted out. It's a very interesting psychology. It's coming in on it a little different. Yeah, a little different. I would like to have more interaction before I choose another word. The responsibility is huge. Even though you do want to share the truth about things, you still have to be extremely, extremely careful, because what you say, in one way, form, or another, will influence. And we all have to be responsible with what we want people to know, because you could create a situation and cause harm, and then looked upon as well, I think people know the difference between the truth and who's trying to pull whose leg. And if there is one that is and another one that isn't, I think it's just going to be human instinct that they're going to go to the one that isn't and does. And that's go to work, believe in themselves, not change their principles or their morals for anything, because it's just not worth that situation. You end up being alone in the matter and then judged. Yeah, honest. Yeah. So we don't want that for people. That's, yeah. Okay. So I might edit this. Yeah. And what I'm getting at is you really should look at those pictures, because it really does say a lot. It really does. This is, this is going to a really strange place. And we have to pray and continue to pray, because, they are really putting the players in place. They are. We can continue to argue the point, and while we argue or debate the point, it's happening. It's happening. So maybe when you either win the debate or have lost a war, you might ask yourself, why wasn't I paying attention? If I believed in so much, why would I have to take the time out to convince another individual? I mean, outside of the relationship being a marriage, right? Nobody has to prove it to anybody else. I don't have to prove myself to anybody else. I just need to continue to believe in myself and to keep focused on my truth and what I see is spiritually healthy for me, and or not, and own up to that truth. So, okay. I'm wondering if I should stop this video. But I'm going to say, look, don't let anybody fool you. Because there's a lot of that. You know, when I started, saying about a year ago, and I said the very first, I left it deliberately. The name was Zoom Zero. Yeah. And I made that choice because this information really does need to be honed in on. It really does. People are looking for the Antichrist. People are looking for World War III. People are looking for God. People are looking for Jesus. People are looking for justice. People are looking for solutions. People are looking for their prayers to be answered. People are looking, for God to protect us from our elements here on earth and protect us from, other beings that have, once again entered our system, and we could all go bye-bye from one second to another. And what are we going to do with that time? Because, like I said at the very beginning, I've got a video that I'm going to make, and it is going to be extremely important. Extremely important. I really hope that after someone views it, they really think about it and they want to share it. Because if all of a sudden you got such a loud, such a presence, as if it were that you just woke up, as if it were this is, the first time you're questioning love, and I'm talking on a human scale. I'm not talking on a lover scale. I'm talking genuinely from a human's perspective, we'll say. And looking at all, if we all had to choose one, as a foundation, would you not choose love? And I'm going to say that the majority of the human beings are going to choose love. I really truly believe that. And now more than ever, because of the transitioning that is being imposed on the flesh, we do have to pick up and run with the knowledge that we do have. And that knowledge is us, ourselves, our thoughts, our creation, our beings, our feelings. It's now. And I said it 10 years ago. I did. I really did. Yeah, by the way, I was the first WTF, that's for sure. That I know for a fact, but I'm flattered all the same. So, what did I do with that? It is a really, really, really scary video. It is about. I don't know if I can get any footage. I do not know. I know I wrote it down. I knew that I had to wait before I shared it with you because it had to be a period where I was feeling a little stronger and I could relate it and and you never feel good about sharing information like this. It's nothing you feel good about. Nothing I feel good about. I don't know about anybody else, but it's not anything I really feel good about. What I do feel good about is the fact that I have an opportunity to say it and to share it. Now, I'm giving all these other sidelines, and that is in order for you to get to know me. And I think, why not? Why the hell not? Why can't I be telling you the truth? Why can't I just, you know, continue to be me? I mean, I know I'm me. If you want to know me, why not accept all of me? Well, that's what would be nice, truly. Yeah. So, it's a vicious circle, but um, we do eventually come to understand that we are such a huge part of a ripple of intention and emotion that you know we can make big waves or just keep them at little waves, right? So, you know, on that particular note, you have to respect the fact that it would be really good if you allowed yourself to attain more knowledge at that point, more knowledge. And the more knowledge that you attain, no matter what the situation is, make sure you have all the knowledge. Because then, moving forward, your word is fact. And there is another growth in that because that's what people are wanting. Now, I'm just about to end this, okay? And what people are wanting, they are wanting to know the truth about the matter of fact. People are really scared to tell the truth, and I get it. I totally get it. Trust me, I get it. Yep. But fact remains. I'm going to find that bit of information. I'm going to read it to you. I'm also going to give you a link. I pray I wrote it down. I pray that I wrote down where I got the information, but I thought it was really, I know it's on YouTube, and I thought it was really important for mankind, for all of us, mankind. Um, and I just thought this information is more than eloquent, you know. I'm stammering over my words, and that's because my feelings are involved in this, and the reason I feel a little panicked is because I really didn't like what I saw, and in the videos from the beginning on, because let's face it, I told you then, listen, it's going to be the grid. That's what I said. There was no room for question. There was no room for uh, possibility or plausibility. It just is. The grid is going to be affected. Now, you need to listen, and you need to listen good. You need to listen really, 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 really good. You're hearing videos that are giving you a false sense of strength, and in that, a false sense of truth. And therefore, there's a false investment that is made. So we're talking at cost. It's an investment. That's pretty sad, because the investment really has to do with us being cattle. You know, us being used solemnly as a number rather than a human being. We all have these numbers. You are number such and such, and they figure, you know, it could be your social security. You know, they say that it doesn't exist, and I say I believe that's the number that stays with you. In fact, I'm sure of it. That, you know, without acknowledging you've got a number that is associated with a beast, and that beast is a governing sense of being. Rather, either you're governing or someone's governing you. But either way, it's a sense of governing. With this particular knowledge, that also helps decisions that are there to be made. The correct decisions will always include humanity as a whole. An incorrect decision may be because one at times only listens to their head and not their heart. Right? Okay, I'm going to end this. I'm going to send it, and I'm going to start the other one because, hey, listen. I am a small voice in a big sea. And I'm telling you, if there is any possibility that you could save a loved one, their life, well, why don't you just take a listen? Take a chance and take a listen. You're going to want to do that. You've got to remember, there's a lot of things. You need escape route. Bridges are going to be gone. They're going to be down. You know, you think it's going to be safe in certain places, and then you go, holy macaroni, you know, I'm not high enough. Or, I should have gone low enough. These issues that are foretold are very real. Look at the earthquakes. That is scary. It came in low. It came in low like a rumble. And I'm going to reiterate what I had said already. And that was Noah's flood. It began with a rumble, a low rumble. And before you knew it, it grew into this monster, and you just didn't have a chance. You did not have a chance. Nobody had a chance except for Noah and his family. You know, and I'm sure there's others, so they too I don't know how they got their information. I wasn't there. It's not up for question. I've never questioned it. Yeah. Okay. I am going to. Yeah, I'm gonna make another video because after I read what I read, it made my stomach drop, and I haven't been able to get over it since. You know, and I've been trying to find the guts to say it how it is. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I think it's time, and thanks for listening. I'll talk to you pretty quick. Okay. You know the drill. It's okay to like. It is, and it's just as okay to subscribe. You just might have a laugh with me. Alrighty then. Toodaloo, c'est la vie.